Hey guys, it's Miko from MO Sound Lab, and this will be the best video I've ever made. I'm gonna be comparing 5 of the best tube amplifiers in the world with each other. Let's see which one sounds the best. Boom! Okay, so I really try to come up with a riff that kind of shows the character in the best way possible. So it has a lot of rhythm and a lot of palm mutes and different harmonies that kind of show the different characters of these amplifiers. So you'll hear the note definition, you'll hear the palm mute, and then you'll hear kind of the roar of the chords as well. So the first amplifier was the Soldano, and the thing with the Soldano here is that it's a super loud amplifier. It's probably gonna be able to compete with a vintage Plexi. It's so super loud, it's almost unbearable to be in the same room once you crank that thing up. I'm not sure if you know the history with Soldano, but Soldano is super rare, built in the US, and this particular amplifier is the SLO with a factory mod. So this was custom ordered from Soldano, and it actually has 2 overdrive channels. So a regular Soldano SLO will have a clean and a drive channel, and this has 2 drive channels. Also on top of that, it also has a depth control. So this will add a serious amount of low end to your sound if you want it. Personally, I got enough low end without this one, so I essentially used the bright channel, and these are sort of the settings that you'll be hearing in the comparison. The next amplifier is the Friedman BE100 Deluxe version, which is the newest Friedman BE amplifier. And the thing with that amplifier is that it's so awesome sounding and so dynamic. I really didn't want to push the gain that much because I really wanted to show off the dynamic side of its sound. And as you can also see, most of the amp settings are central. I actually opted to use the BE channel, mainly because it was a very dynamic channel. I have the gain maxed out, and I actually feel like that's a really good amount of gain. So maybe in comparison to some of the other amplifiers, the Friedman will not have that much gain. It's because I used the BE channel, but I really like the BE channel, so that's what's going on here. The clean channel is a Plexi type clean, and you have no idea how much I appreciate that, because I have my 71 Plexi. Sorry, it's super dark, but that's my 71 Plexi, And I love the sound of that, but there's no way in hell I'm gonna use that in here. It's so loud, it's just never gonna be used. This has a very similar sound to it, very similar sound, and you can get it in low volume. The next amp is my triple rectifier 2-channel Rev G from the 90s. The early rectifiers kind of are the better ones. And these are the settings that I used with this one. So I pulled the master down for purposes, but it was around there. Boosted the presence a little, cut the bass, boost the mids, boost the treble, and gain is like that. And that's the red channel on the modern mode. I wanted to use the modern channel, and in comparison it'll sound very scooped to the other amplifiers. Just to point out that it also has a vintage channel, and it sounds really good, and it would have probably been closer to the other amplifiers if I used the vintage channel on this amplifier. The thing with scooped amplifiers is that you have to boost the volume higher, and once you do that you start to hear more of the low end rumble and more of the fizziness in the top end. So that's the reason why it kind of sounds the most aggressive out of the bunch. It's more about the EQ balance. The next amplifier was the Mark V, and it's actually there behind the Marshall. I'm not sure if you can see it, but anyways, it's my personal favorite amplifier, and I've had it for quite a long time, or at least some kind of a Mark series amplifier. I feel like they're the same thing. As you can probably see, I'm using the Mark IIc Plus settings, the settings that I found that match exactly with the Mark IIc Plus when you compare this to that. So this is not the classic V shape, but it's a really good sound. Really emphasizes the Markness of it all. The thing with the Mark series amplifiers is that with the two EQs and a really mid-focused drive sound, you can kind of turn it into whatever amplifier you want. It's a chameleon in that sense, and it has a lot of gain to it. Unsung hero is definitely the Marshall here. So that's a 500 euro amplifier that you can find used if you just keep looking for them. Get one from the 90s. The newer ones are not that great. This is from the 90s. It's a 50 watt DSL JCM2000. An unsung hero because many people always question why I even have this amplifier here when I have all these cool amplifiers. Just listen to that clip, like it almost has the most gain out of the bunch, and it's so awesome. It almost sounds like the Mark V if you really compare them with each other. It's somewhere in between the Mark V and the Soldano, and it only costs 500 euros used. If you're able to get that amplifier, just go and get it now, immediately. The trick with this amplifier is that you kind of have to ignore the treble knob, so have it at 0 and have the presence all the way up. That's how I have it. Also, it has these functions, so I usually use this tone shift. It'll kind of scoop the amplifier a little bit, and then just have the bass almost entirely off and use it kind of as a resonance knob, and the middle will be sort of your presence, so to say. With the gain, I have it set at 6, and this is on the high gain channel. So drive on 6, master on 6. Okay, what do you think? Which one is the best sounding one? Comment down below. So there are two things that I really want to cover before ending this video, because I know they will come up. They all sound the same. No, but I'm using the same cabinet modeling, and that will be a huge part of the tone. So if you really think about it, if you're comparing a 500 euro amplifier to, let's say, a 4,000 euro amplifier like the Friedman, the difference is not going to be as big as you getting a really good cabinet with your DSL, you know? Cabinets, I hate to say this, but the cabinets is way more important than the amplifier if you have at least some kind of a proper amplifier. That's just the truth. There's no way around it. And the second question that I'm sure will come up, at least from the metalheads, is why did I not use a boost pedal or a tube screamer or something with these amplifiers? And the short answer is that I'm not the kind of person who puts ketchup on Kobe beef. I mean, I love tube screamers, I have them here as well, I use them every now and then, but personally I feel like if I have an amplifier that costs 4,000 euros, I'm not gonna put a tube screamer in front. And personally I feel like with the boost pedals it kind of makes these amplifiers sound even more alike, and even now they do sound much alike, so I feel like they kind of remove the character of the amplifier in many ways. Okay, thank you for watching the video, and I'll be shooting a lot of videos with these amplifiers and going through them, so if you have any questions please comment below and I'll cover them in the videos. And that's it. Thank you and see you guys later. Bye bye. Subscribe!